Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. On this episode of the 411 from Highway 441, I would like to discuss Storm Area 51, they can't stop us all. And I would also like to discuss devil's advocacy. So, there's this Facebook group this guy started, and everybody knows Area 51's. It is a confirmed military base. It is, in many regards, a secret base, but to that I would pose most military bases are relatively private anyway. This one just has additional precautions that were put in place decades ago, such as it wasn't noted on maps. And this is before the age of satellite imagery for public consumption. This is before the GPS systems that we're rocking these days, that by the way, I have no sense of direction and would totally be lost without my phone. Google Maps is the only way I get back and forth to school. Anywho, the base itself was kind of shadow, cloak and dagger, and a lot of people at the time, in particular, because very near to that and in conjunction with that base, there was the hot air balloon, what do you want to call it? Incident, I suppose. There's a lot of discussion around whether or not that was aliens. The image that was put into the newspapers at the time certainly looks like a man-made apparatus to me. And when I think about how we punk each other on the regular, I just don't see sufficient evidence over my research into those issues. And I'll do another podcast, a vlogcast one day about life on other planets and aliens and that. But let's circle back around to the point. I am talking about Storm Area 51. They can't stop all of us. And this guy on Facebook, he says he's going to get a bunch of his friends together, and he blasts it out to the community. Let's get a flash mob situation. Let's get a bunch of people, and let's go and see what's inside this base, because they can't stop us all. Now, I want to talk to you about devil's advocacy. This is the second half of what I'm thinking as it pertains to this issue. Let's play a game in which you use your imagination. I know it's difficult. Wake the hamster up, baby. Use your imagination and try to extend yourself to the other side of this situation. For right now, let's just drop the debate and leave the military its secrets and say that whatever is in the base is a matter of national security on any level, even if it's just like documents, okay? They keep physical documents in there from back in the day, okay? It's not a general citizen's right to, in our structure, in our government, the way our country works, you can't just walk onto a military base, man. There's a lot of spies, and that's legitimate. There are lots of spies, and we have spies, and everybody's trying to get information on everybody else. It's global politics. It's, there are entire divisions of the government that are actually surrounding the, central intelligence, okay? So, devil's advocacy in this particular situation has me thinking about what it must be like to be somebody who maybe, in my mind, I'm picturing somebody who didn't really dig on school, okay? I really like, let's say I am this person. I really like the outdoors, and I come started from the bottom, now I'm here, but I still ain't got much. So, my opportunities are limited, and higher education is not for me, and I don't know scholarships and the game. If I'm just not interested in that. This person, he or she, goes out and tries to get a job to earn their scratch so that they can start climbing the ladder. But in the meantime, times are tough, and all the jobs are taken up by people that went and got their diplomas and yada yada yada, right? People who had more opportunities, people who anyway, I don't want to launch into all the hypothetical why one person would be hired over another, but the devil's advocacy here is this individual who eventually finds his or her way into the military, goes through boot, is then assigned to Area 51. Holy crap, that's kind of cool. I've seen movies, and people have talked. I know what Area 51 is. I'm going to get posted there. That's cool. And they get all excited. They get out there and realize that really they're just, they're either PT or they're on guard duty, standing up by a gate, and they don't really get to see what's inside either. And now we have this this gentleman on Facebook and this probable situation whereby you're going to have members of the community stirred by extremists, and this guy, it sounds like trolling to me is what it is, right? I don't think that he's as much of an extremist as he is purporting to be. I think that he's just, he's a nerd. He's just taken his little joke a little too far, and the public sink its teeth into a lot of things, and the news cycle, it'll get gobbled up and spit out a few times, and he's probably using his 5 minutes of fame to make the most of this the tremendously inappropriate but hilarious situation. So I am that guard. I see a large mass of people from the general public, civilians, marching towards me. My orders are to protect at any cost, and because the military is aware of what's going on and the possible threat to intelligence, they just deployed an entire unit of trigger-happy morons that are just standing to the left and right of me. They have combat experience, sure, but they're angry because these people have wasted their time, I suppose. I'm just imagining the situation. They're angry because they have more important things to do and got called from overseas to go to Area 51 because the public can't get past the media craze and what's in the base. And at this point, if there even was anything secret there, they probably moved it somewhere else under a mountain. But people just don't get that. It always makes me go back to this group mob mentality. I love a quote from Men in Black, and I never get the quotes exactly right. As an aside, it's very difficult to act with me because I tend to get the line accurate to the content, but seem to switch up the words in the script. But Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones are sitting on the bench, and they're talking about, why don't you just tell the public? Will Smith has just discovered that there's life on other planets and that aliens are real, and that there's a governmental, secret society, the Men in Black, who are assigned to deal with that. And Tommy Lee Jones looks over at Will Smith and he says, listen, a person can be smart, a person can be intelligent, a person could deal with this. You is what the implication is, Will Smith, his character in that movie. You can deal with this. But the general population, the public, are dumb, panicky animals, and you know it. And I hate that that's so true, and I hate that that is so stoked by the media and by the buy-in to that. And I just want you to think about that person from the other side, devil's advocacy. What am I going to do? We've got the people coming right at me. Mob mentality stirred it up, and now they're like trying to get in to see nothing. But at the same time, I've got, imminent threat to security and orders from the generals, and I've got live ammunition, and I don't know, that could get really sticky. So I don't have answers to this. I think that you need to choose your battles. It's another good vlog for one of these days, choosing your battles. I think that it's a waste of time when we commit so much energy to frivolous activism is what I'll call it. I think that some people would join a cause because they want to be involved in that, and then it just adds a snowball effect to this frivolous activity. I think that if you want to be active and you want to participate in activism, there are plenty of really awesome things that you can get behind, make your voice heard, and help to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. That's it for today, as I'm past 10 minutes.